What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another one of Hoggie's beer reviews. Now, this is a commercial beer. This is a beer that's been requested. This is a beer that's heavily promoted nowadays. So I figured I'd finally bring you my review on Stella Artois, Leuven. Leuven's actually the city in Belgium where it's brewed. But Stella Artois, known more for the bottles. They have the big, marketing campaign now with the whole, it's not a glass, it's a chalice, because, as you see on the bottom there, they have their own little special glass for the beer and all that. Stella. But everybody sees it on tap or in bottles. I figured I'd get the cans and just give it a shot in the cans. I have had this beer before, back maybe 06, 07 perhaps, 05, 06, 07, 06, 06, let's say 06. When they started importing this beer's only been imported into the United States for maybe about 5 or 6 years. InBev, the large international conglomerate that owns a lot of breweries and that recently bought and merged with Budweiser. Well, InBev owns Stella. And now that InBev and Budweiser are one, no wonder that they start importing it into the States and heavily marketing it. Now, if you know anything about beer, especially craft beer, you know that the Belgians have a long-standing tradition of brewing. That's why there's so many Belgian-style beers and real Belgian beers, Trappist, Abbey ales, and all that. That's that Belgian tradition of brewing. And these bastards import over a Belgian beer that tastes like Heineken. For the most part, because this is a lager, this is not one of those traditional Belgian ales. This is a Euro Pale Lager. For the most part. So like always, I'll punch up Beer Advocate just to give you an idea here. Beer Advocate categorizes it as a Euro Pale Lager, just like Beck's, and Heineken, and Polygirl, and all those other green bottled European import lagers. So once again, Beer Advocate, it's a Euro Pale Lager. It's 5% alcohol by volume, and of course it's from Stella in Belgium. On Beer Advocate, out of 1,232 reviews, it scores a 71. Now, jumping over to rate beer really quick. I love this. Let's see. Style Pale Lager from Leuven, Belgium. Brewed by InBev in Belgium. And on rate beer, out of 2,397 reviews, it scores a 16 overall. So, I mean, that pretty much gives you an idea what we're talking about here. This is not a great beer. Don't believe the hype. Yes, it's a decent lager, all things considered. It's not, it's not full of adjuncts and preservatives and crap, but, it's something special. They advertise that whole chalice, the special glass for it. Screw that. I'm not getting a chalice. I'm getting a proper glass for a lager. And before we talk anymore and these beers warm up anymore, let's just get right to it. There you go. Take a look at the can. Stella Artois Premium Lager Beer, 14.9 fluid ounces. So, there you go. Not a big crack, not a lot of fuzz, but ooh, it's foaming up. All right. Yeah, that was a real quiet, kind of lame can crack there. No noise, no hiss, no pop, no fizz. But then it started to foam. I'll let that sit for a minute. Get this guy out the way. So, like I said, I have had this beer before. I think I tried it, right when it first hit the marketplace, around that 06, 07 time frame. I believe I got a 22-ounce bottle of it, if memory serves me. And I've drank a lot of beer, so memory doesn't always serve me that good. But, again, I didn't think it was anything special. Obviously, I drank it once and didn't really buy it again, so it wasn't that great to begin with. And in all fairness, I think I tried it after I got into craft beer, but in all fairness, before I got into craft beer, I used to drink a lot of Beck's and Heineken, and even then it didn't really move me. So, now we're trying it out the can many years later, and let's see what it's like. Now this is a pale color. This may be just a hair lighter than a Heineken. I got semi-cloudy sunny sky out there. I'm holding it up to the blue sky, and this thing looks like a pale yellow straw, pale, kind of almost a light beer color. The head's really nice, so you can see the head's nice and thick and dense and frothy. That's good. It smells like a light lager. Subtle malts on the nose. Just a hint of kind of like a grassy, almost lemony hop, but it's mild. Lager yeast. And yeah, that's about it. So it looks kind of blah. It smells kind of blah. Let's see if it tastes blah. And again, I'm not just trying to dump on this beer, even though it's just another overhyped import, even though it's an InBev beer. I'm not trying to dump on it, but by nature, this style is just kind of blah. So cheers to a blah beer. I gotta say, not bad for a blah beer. The beauty of blah beers is that they can be refreshing, you know, after a hard day's work, you know, after cutting the grass, after working outside, after, you know, after playing ball, after the gym, whatever, when you're hot, sweaty, and just want to chug a cold beer. This is always good. I'll be honest, this is not a bad beer for what it is. The taste is so mild across the board. You get a nice little bite up front from the carbonation. And the body's, it's mild, it's light, it's watery. There's just a hint of malt sweetness, but for the most part there's nothing. You're drinking it like water. And towards the back end, a little more fizz from the carbonation and a little bite from the hops, that bitterness at the end. No aftertaste, nothing lingering, you know. Honestly, it's clean. It's a clean drinking beer. And it's got a good amount of carbonation, of fizz, which makes it refreshing, makes it good for, you know, drinking when you're hot and sweaty. So combine that with the fact there's no nasty aftertaste. All things considered, this beer isn't bad. The problem is that if I want a cold, light, you know, kind of watery, bland beer to chug after I've been cutting the grass or working out or whatever, I'll just buy like some PBR and save me some money. For the $10, you know, $8, $9, $10 that they want for a 6-pack of this stuff, or like the $7 I paid for the 4-pack of cans, I forget if it was like $6.99, $7.99. It's not worth it, because there's really not a lot of flavor here. You know, if you're at a bar and you want to wash down some wings, this is a good choice. But other than that, it's just a bland ass beer. Another overhyped product from InBev. No flavor, no reason to really buy it. But for the style, for a Euro Pale Lager, I'll give it a rating of a kind of, you know, because it's either glass half empty or glass half full, and this is like right in the middle. There's no flavor or taste or anything to make me want to buy it, but it's so bland and easy to drink that it can ride that middle line. So for the first time, I'll give this a complete middle ground rating. It's not a glass half full, it's not a glass half empty, it's just a beer. If you're thirsty, drink it. And if you actually have to pay money for it, find something else. There's better stuff out there. And I'll leave it at that. Stella Artois, don't believe the hype. And yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. There's a lot more coming. Remember, Hoggie's Beer on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. You know, yeah, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.